I was sitting in my office. Mr. Farotimi used to work here. He retired about 5 years ago. But he comes here once in a while. So I was sitting in my office when he came in, and he walked into what used to be his office. And while he was there, I was walking, and then I heard this commotion. I heard the commotion, and I opened my door, and I saw some men in jeans, and they had a vest, RRX, and Rapid Response Squad, and they had guns. And one of them walked towards me and said, "Give me your phone." And I said, "Why do you want my phone?" And he said, "I'm going to shoot you, give me my phone." And he took my phone from me, and then I followed him, trying to inquire. Yes, he threatened to shoot me. Okay. So I walked towards him, inquiring, "Who are you? What?" And he said, then he raised his gun and said he was going to shoot me if I come near him. So I stood where I was, and then I saw them walk with Mr. Farotimi.
Dele Farotimi, a human rights lawyer and a strong critic of Tinubu's administration, has been arrested. Farotimi was also a spokesperson to P2B during the 2023 presidential election campaign. According to Sahara Reporter, Farotimi had earlier raised alarm over alleged threats to his life by some Nigerian elites in collusion with the security agencies and some legal experts. Not long after the alarm was raised, the Nigerian police at Zone 2 in Lagos State arrested him following a petition filed by Tony Elumelu, the chairman of United Bank for Africa, UBA Group. It was also gathered that the petition alleged that Farotimi defamed Elumelu through statements made publicly. Then Farotimi, in a statement he personally signed and captioned, "They want to silence me," narrated how on November 11, 2024, he was informed that an invitation letter from the Zone 2 Police Command was delivered to his office. According to him, the letter requested that he should report at the station on November 13, 2024 at 10:00 a.m. Meanwhile, Omoyele Sowore, who is also a human rights activist and a former presidential candidate, had earlier today, being Tuesday, via his X handle, condemned Farotimi's arrest and called for the immediate and unconditional release of the human rights lawyer. However, the arrest of Farotimi, a renowned human rights lawyer, over allegation of defamation is a chilling reminder of the shrinking civic space in Nigeria. As a nation that prides itself on its democratic ideals and commitment to the rule of law, this action sets a dangerous precedent that threatens not only freedom of expression but also the very fabric of our constitutional democracy. Mr. Dele Farotimi has been a fearless advocate for justice, accountability, and protection of human rights. His voice represents millions of Nigerians who demand transparency and fairness in governance. Criminalizing dissent or using state institutions to silence critics undermines the principles upon which our nation was built. The law must be a shield for the people, not a weapon against them. Defamation is a civil matter, and resorting to police action in such cases reflects a misuse of power. This action suggests a growing trend of intolerance for dissent and an increasing willingness to stifle opposing voices rather than engage them in dialogue or address legitimate concerns. The Nigerian police force should desist from allowing itself to be used for personal disputes. It's totally condemnable. We call on the authorities to ensure that Mr. Farotimi's rights are fully respected and that he is granted immediate and unconditional release. Furthermore, this is a moment for all well-meaning Nigerians to stand firm against any attempt to erode our fundamental freedoms. A nation that fails to protect its advocates for truth and justice is a nation on the path to tyranny. Hello, you're watching Daily Events News, your favorite platform for amazing events happening across Nigeria. If you have watched up to this moment, thank you so much and kindly give us a thumb up. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate. And if you're seeing this handle for the first time, please kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification button for more interesting updates. Also follow us across social media at Daily Events News. See you all in our next video, and thanks for watching.
Breaking news where we understand that the Nigerian police force has arrested human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi following a defamation petition by Tony Elumelu, chairman of UBA Group. Activist Omoyele Sowore announced the arrest on X, urging the police to release Farotimi immediately and warning against using the police for personal disputes. Farotimi, a vocal government critic, previously reported police attempts to abduct him after receiving summons in November. The petition against him claims defamation. Now, this incident adds to concerns over Nigerian security forces allegedly targeting journalists and critics. Cases like FIJ's Daniel Ojukwu, detained for 10 days, and Ben Kingsley Wasara's unlawful arrest in Enugu highlight growing fears of arbitrary arrest being weaponized. News Central TV reached out to the AIG Zone 2 in Lagos at Adegoke Fayode on the arrest, and she said she was unaware of the arrest. Now live joining us on the news is investigative journalist Fisayo Shoyombo. Fisayo, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us on this bit here. So if you can hear me, I'm wondering what you know about the Dele Farotimi arrest currently.
I was saying that it's not a totally unexpected development. He warned me on Sunday to say that he had intel that he was about to be silenced and that his safety would be compromised. And the news has come out today that he's been picked up. I don't yet have the details if that happened in Lagos or in Abuja, but because he had called earlier to say, he was about to be silenced, I'm inclined to think that this is more than just a defamation move. As a matter of fact, it's nowhere under the law that the police can arrest anyone for defamation. If anyone feels defamed, the right thing to do is approach a court of law and institute a lawsuit. So this keeps in line with what we have come to know of the Bola Tinubu administration: disregard for rights of the people, disregard for press freedom, misuse and abuse of state powers.
I was sitting in my office. Mr. Farotimi used to work here. He retired about 5 years ago. But he comes here once in a while. So I was sitting in my office when he came in, and he walked into what used to be his office. And while he was there, I was walking, and then I heard this commotion. I heard the commotion, and I opened my door, and I saw some men in jeans, and they had a vest, RRX, and Rapid Response Squad, and they had guns. And one of them walked towards me and said, "Give me your phone." And I said, "Why do you want my phone?" And he said, "I'm going to shoot you. Give me my phone." And he took my phone from me. And then I followed him, trying to inquire. Yes, he threatened to shoot me. Okay. So I walked towards him, inquiring, "Who are you? What?" And he said, then he raised his gun and said he was going to shoot me if I come near him. So I stood where I was, and then I saw them walk with Mr. Farotimi down through the lounge where we were standing, and then they went downstairs. And it happened very quickly, and in a few minutes they were out of here. And whilst that was happening, I could hear my cleaner crying downstairs. So I went downstairs. I tried to find out what was happening, and she then told me that they assaulted her. She was beaten, and then they took the devices of everyone. As the guys were coming in, they were taking phones from the table, anything valuable they found on the table, mobile devices, they took them. And then they also threatened to shoot one of my associates, Gilbert. In fact, at the point they asked him to follow them outside, and they threatened they were going to shoot him. And in fact, one of them, even from what I hear, was telling the other they should shoot him. That was what Gilbert told me, and then, but they didn't. Thankfully, nobody was shot, and they walked away. So that's the much that I know. I can speak to what happened here today because I witnessed it.